Hi everyone, welcome to the Riverside Aquatics Complex for the semifinal round of the FINA Intercontinental Tournament alongside 2012 Olympic gold medalist Tamua and I, Greg Meskel, here with you. Tamua, on the way, we have Team USA meeting China. The winner moves on to the gold medal final. Should be an exciting game between these two rivals.
It should be a really exciting game. I think the U.S. is coming in with a lot of younger players, so it'll be interesting to see how those new girls kind of pan out for the USA team. And then also for China, it'll be interesting to see how these girls who have played before, who did really well last summer, how they come out at the beginning of the summer. Team
USA and China met twice last year in the World League Super Final. Victories for China on both occasions, so perhaps a chance here for some Team USA redemption. The opening sprint and the lineups are on the way. Stay with us. We're coming back to the pool here in Riverside. Welcome back to the pool here in Riverside. Opening sprint coming up for Team USA and China. Along with Tamua and I, 2012 Olympic gold medalist Greg Meskel here with you poolside for a matchup of two rivals. China topping USA in two meetings last year, a 16-15 shootout, and then a 9-7 decision, both of those at the FINA World League Super Final, the event these two teams are in the process of qualifying for. China will play the host by reaching the semifinal match. Both teams have already secured their spot, and China as host has already locked down a spot guaranteed to the host country every year. Teams into the water, and let's take a look at the lineups for each of these squads. And first to China and their head coach Ricardo Azevedo. In the goal, Yang Jun. In the field, Li Shujin, Lu Ping, Sun Yujun, Chu He Li, the captain Sun Yating, Song Dong-Loon returning after sitting out with a red card last match, Zhang Kong, Zhao Zihan, Tian Jianding, Wang Jinyan, Zhang Lei, and the backup keeper Peng Lin. And for Team USA and head coach Adam Krikorian, Betsy Armstrong in the cage, Maddie Rosenthal, Marissa Young, Colleen O'Donnell, KK Clark, Priscilla Orozco, Maddie Musselman, Mackenzie Fisher, Jillian Krause, Kaleigh Gilchrist, Elise Williams, the captain Cammie Craig, and the backup keeper EB Keeve. And it's Keeve who gets the start tonight here against China. And for China, they go with their backup keeper as well, Peng Lin. Opening sprint controlled by the United States in the dark caps, China in the white.
China had a great summer last year, and for the U.S. to come out here and compete with one of the world's best coming off of last year, this will be great experience for these new girls on the U.S. team.
Our officials this evening, Mr. Toffoli and Mr. Oricasa, as Elise Williams fires and nearly scored. Save there by Peng Lin, able to take it off the post, and China will take over now.
And it's great for Elise to take that early shot here in the game. Don't be afraid to shoot the ball if you have it. So that's a good start for the U.S.
And a poor start for Kaleigh Gilchrist. Exclusion right out of the gate. She'll go to the side, and a 6-on-5 opportunity here for China. Exclusion away near the middle of the pool. And now China will get a chance here on the power play to start things off.
China moves the ball really well, and they move it fast.
And you see right there, China putting it away with ease to go ahead 1-0. Opening moments here of this match.
These opening moments are a little shaky for the U.S. team, but I think that comes with a young group. A lot of these girls probably have not played China. And China, you know, they've played together a lot, and they move the ball around well.
Song Dong-Loon connecting. She missed last game, was rolled for a brutality foul, a punch in the previous match in a win over Brazil. So sat out the semis. China outlasting Japan there by a goal. Here's Kaleigh Gilchrist looking inside to Cammie Craig. The catch, the turn, and that's over the top of the goal, out of play. It'll come back into China.
That was a great pass by Gilchrist into Craig. She was able to stay patient on her legs and get that around the defender.
Minute 15 gone by here in the first. 1-0 lead for China. Maddie Musselman defending. Youngest member of this USA squad is 15 years old, finishing up her sophomore year at Corona Del Mar High School.
It's great to see some high school girls out here. A little reminiscent of USA's Maggie Steffens when she was in high school.
Skip shot from deep. Score it for China. That's Wang Jinyan. Two quick ones here for Team China. They're ahead 2-0. 6:26 to go in the first.
These are some things that you'll see throughout the game. China has some really good outside shooters, and they get high on their legs and they're patient with the ball. They'll pretty much fake it until they see the opening, and they'll just place it right in there.
Here's Kaleigh Gilchrist. She'll give it a look. Come near side. Jillian Krause. They play catch on the perimeter. Quick shot outside. Gilchrist is on the board, and so is Team USA. She hits from the perimeter. It's a 2-1 game. 6:11 to go here in the first.
I think both of these goalkeepers, both on the U.S. and China, these are probably some of their first big starts here internationally. So this will be a good opportunity for them to show kind of what they have.
For Team USA, EB Keeve, current starting goalkeeper for Arizona State, getting an opportunity. She was the starter in the shootout win over Canada, piling up 20 saves in that victory, and she's back in the goal here tonight. Coach Krikourian alternating with Keeve and Betsy Armstrong throughout the week. Outside attempt, barred down, almost found a home. Keeve able to take that one out of the goal, and we come the other way.
We're going to see a fast game here tonight as well. Canada-Australia was fast, and the U.S.-China game is going to be fast as well. Both of these teams are well-conditioned, and they're going to play hard.
Here's Kraus into Craig, looking for the turn, and the exclusion comes first. Cami Craig creating space inside, and that'll send Wang Jinyan out to the side, and a 6-on-5 chance here for Team USA.
Craig's one of the oldest players on this team, and you're going to see a lot from Cami tonight.
Musselman here. Gilchrist deals to Clark. Swinging around. Couple of fakes. Gilchrist on the perimeter. She'll put it away. That's two quick ones for Kaleigh Gilchrist. We're even at 2. 5:17 to go here in the first. Gilchrist, 3 goals in yesterday's victory over Venezuela, coming back here with 2 quick ones. And now Team USA will go to the bench with a near full line change. 5 new players coming in.
Kaleigh's playing well tonight. She's coming out strong. She doesn't look scared at all. And I think this is maybe her first time playing China. She plays confident, and I think, those 2 early goals will really help the U.S. team.
United States goes to the bench. Orozco, Rosenthal, O'Donnell, Young, and Fisher come on. As you see all those athletes sub out. And here's Maddie Rosenthal pressuring near mid-tank. China controlling. Team USA in a press defense here.
We see the U.S. in a really high defense there at the center. She just needs to be careful that she stays inside so she doesn't avoid that inside water.
Trying to get Sun Yat-ting involved. O'Donnell defending. Shot clock to 7. From the perimeter, a few fakes, firing and scoring. Cross-cage delivery, Sun Yu-jun. And China has been able to connect from the outside here early. They go ahead 3-2.
That's a well-placed shot. I mean, they want her to shoot the ball. It's a kind of a harder angle to hit. But I think they need to do a better job at shot blocking, and the U.S. needs to get some bigger hands in there.
And now Coach Ricardo Azevedo goes to his bench, bringing on Zhang Kong. 4:47 to go here in the first. 3-2 lead for China. It's been back and forth here in the early stages. Here's Jillian Kraus. Now Maddie Rosenthal in a 2 meters, looking to create some room. Double team there.
China does a great job of moving around the center. We can see in the center there with Maddie Rosenthal that the defender's able to get around her. They're going to have to be agile tonight from the U.S. perspective in the middle. Shot
clock to 8. Here's Mackenzie Fisher. Out to Marissa Young. And we'll get a contra foul, a grab on the suit in at 2 meters on Rosenthal. And that'll turn the ball over and come back the other way. 4:24 to go here in the first. 3-2 the lead for China. Ordinary there, of course, if you're new to water polo, these ordinary fouls do not accumulate. Just gives a free opportunity for the player with the ball to either pass or in some cases shoot.
The U.S. wants to, kind of tighten up their defense a little bit, and that starts with the center. I think the center defenders are doing a better job of containing this center right here.
Entry inside to Sun Yat-ting, wheeling on Young, draws the exclusion. Marissa Young will go out to the side for 20 seconds. And a 6-on-5 power play coming here for China.
The U.S. needs a block here. I think that as a collection, kind of as a morale boost, they want to get a block right now.
Shot clock to 14. Here's Zhao Zihan. Fires and off the bar and out of play. Sides come even as Keeve tried to get a piece of that one and went high and over the goal, out of play, and it's back to the Americans. Here's Colleen O'Donnell setting things up. Jillian Kraus. Rosenthal had inside position and couldn't get to the ball. China defense is there, coming over Zhang Kong for the steal.
China was quick to get on that ball. The pass was a tiny bit outside the range of Rosenthal, and China was able to pounce on that one.
Ordinary called.
This is a really physical game tonight. You can already see the grabbing and the holding and a lot of white water around each of these players.
Yeah, tough for either side to get any separation from their defender.
Both of these teams are running really hard presses. So anytime you run a press, it's going to be a battle in there.
That's an exclusion on Orozco. She was tangled up with Zhao Zihan for a few minutes there. And now a power play. Great look inside. Nice stop by Keeve, able to knock that one away on the attempted redirect in close by Lu Ping.
That was a great save by EB for her to be able to get that block there and then to go down, and hopefully they can put this one away.
And for Keeve there, a good chance to get a save on the resume, let a couple of goals in, able to get a hand on the ball.
As a goalie, you definitely want it to hit your hand a few times to get some confidence, so that should help her.
The exclusion called, and a 6-on-5 opportunity here for Team USA. Sun Yat-ting will go out and score it for Priscilla Orozco. Comes back off the exclusion and lights it up from the outside. And Team USA ties the score at 3, 2:36 to play here in the first.
That was a great early read by Priscilla. I think she knew that she had that shot and she set it up previous to getting that pass.
Couple of substitutions. Craig returns, as does Maddie Musselman for the United States.
Craig will be an added bonus for the U.S. there in center. She'll be able to get in deep and hopefully draw a few ejections. China's doing a great job defensively, though.
Here's Musselman defending now. United States got great experience on the press defense last night. They pressed Venezuela for 4 straight quarters en route to a 17-1 victory. And having to use a lot of those same skills here tonight.
Absolutely, and the most important part about the press is the defender and her ability to get around. So let's see if the U.S. can kind of keep that front so they can contain the press.
Shot clock to 8 for China.
We'll be able to see some of the shooting expertise from China tonight.
Outside try, Keeve knocks it down on the attempt from Song Dong-loon. And it stays even at 3 with a little over 2 minutes to play here in the first.
One of the greatest strengths about China is all of their outside shooters. I mean, as you kind of go around the perimeter there, they're all great shooters.
Craig working inside, Musselman controlling here on the near side. Cross pass to Young.
China's running a pretty deep drop to try and control Cami there for the U.S., and they're doing a great job of movement there in that drop.
O'Donnell from the outside, off the mark, wide and over the cage. And the ball back to China with 1:41 to play in the opening period.
China plays good, patient water polo. You know, from their conditioning levels, they're able to stay up high, but they're also able to play a smart game. They put the ball where it needs to be at the right times.
Here's Lu Ping controlling, Craig defending there at about 8 meters. Ball near side, Zhao Zihan. Shot clock to 8 for China. The look inside, defense from behind. The backhand attempt is off the post. A fight for the rebound. Keeve will track it down.
I don't think anyone saw that one coming.
No, she was able to step through defenders there and somehow get a shot off some of the strength seen there by China.
Absolutely. She does a good job of working the defender, whether it's on a drive or the counterattack, and she's, relentless with those moves.
Near side, here's Orozco. Cross pass to Young. Young will take a look. Shot clock to 5. Nowhere to go. It has to be her. Gives a few looks. Goes inside to Craig. Somehow with the catch and score right at the horn. Cami Craig putting it away. How about the patience there from Marissa Young to feed that one in when there seemed to be no time remaining. The U.S. goes ahead 4-3.
I think the credit there goes to Marissa Young. She did a great job for the U.S. in holding the ball and being patient, but also attacking the goal. And that's what got her shot blocker to bite to her, and she gave that pass into Cami, and Cami was able to put that away. She has a lot of experience on Team USA, and for her to be able to just turn and shoot, they'll be able to use her a lot this game.
See Coach Azevedo, former USA men's national team head coach, former China men's national team head coach now with the women, and was a pretty strong believer that was a shot clock violation before that pass came in. Officials rule otherwise, and start things off here with China with just 42 seconds left in the period and a 4-3 lead. Team USA has rebounded here to go ahead for the first time.
It's always important, the defensive situation right after you make a goal. You don't want to get scored on right after you actually score on the team. So in order to keep their lead, they need to play really well right now.
Here's an exclusion. It'll be called on the United States, and then a timeout will be called by China. 29 seconds remaining here in the first. China calls for time. We'll step aside. Team USA in front 4-3. We're back after this. Welcome back here to Riverside. 29 seconds remain in the first. It's a 4-3 lead for the United States, but an opportunity for China, coming in with a power play out of the timeout. Exclusion went on Maddie Rosenthal. That's her first, and here comes a chance for Coach Azevedo and the Chinese women.
The Chinese women came out really strong in this first quarter, and I think they took the U.S. by surprise. So the U.S. has been able to battle back, and we'll see how this 6-on-5 goes. I think this will be a great way for China to end this quarter.
Pang Lin will start things off. And into the front court. China on the attack.
See how well they move the ball. They're able to fake it, draw defenders, and make a drive pass to the next person.
Arms up everywhere for the United States. Zhao Zihan, shot attempt deflected by Keeve, knocked away. Sides come even.
Those were quick hands by Keeve for her to be able to get that shot as it tried to graze that corner. I think if she didn't get that hand on it, it might have been a bar in.
Team USA calls for time. 7 seconds remaining here in the first. A 4-3 lead for the United States, and under new rules, you are permitted 1 timeout per quarter, use it or lose it. So you're seeing teams call timeouts because otherwise they'll give them away, and a chance here for the United States to draw up a final play in this quarter with just 7 seconds remaining on the clock.
I think Team USA wants to put in Gilchrist after her 2 early goals there in this game. I think they want to use her momentum and her confidence going into this to maybe put the ball in the cage.
And Gilchrist does return 2 goals already in this one. Orozco and Craig scoring the others for the United States.
I think this is great for some of the USA younger players to be able to be confident in their shooting abilities and to not be afraid to take these shots, especially with 7 seconds left in the quarter.
Gilchrist will get us started here. 7 seconds left. She'll put it in play. Here's Musselman. 4 seconds left. Ordinary. Could be a shot from Musselman. She'll rise up, take it. Skip shot wide right of the goal. And it's back to China with just 2 seconds left here in the first period.
It's great for the youngest player to take that clutch shot.
Pang Lin lets it fly.
Whether or not she makes it, it's great experience for her to be able to take that shot.
And that brings an end to the first. It's a 4-3 lead for the United States. We'll take a timeout and return with a second. Stay with us here at the Riverside Aquatics Complex. Welcome back here in Riverside. Start of the second quarter on the way between Team USA and China. It's a 4-3 lead for the United States alongside Tamua and I. Greg Meskel here with you at the Riverside Aquatics Complex. Great evening for water polo and a great crowd on hand. Big turnout. Not just water polo fans, but also participants in the ODP National Training and Selection Camp, the future of the national team. Training during this time, and they're here in the crowd, Tamu.
It's great to see, you know, the next generation of water polo players out here watching the world's best right now. China's coming off a great year, and the U.S. is pretty young, and they're looking good today. They came out a little shaky, but it looks like they've kind of hit their stride going into the second quarter.
Start of the second underway. Maddie Musselman gets there first for the United States, and now Kraus will have it, and here's Elise Williams.
A lot of these U.S. girls are coming off of their college seasons, so it's good for them to kind of play with some of their girls that they're playing against all season.
And these rivalries get put aside. USC, UCLA, Stanford, all of that. Entry inside to Craig, lays out the turn, but a save by Pang Lin.
That was a great move by Craig in order to get ready for that ball. I think Williams was aware of what Craig wanted to do, and she was able to place that right in her hand at the right time.
China on the attack.
China has some really strong centers, and they're able to get down there in 2 meters. I think their outside players just need to give her the ball a little bit better. Sun
Yat-ting, the captain and starting center for this team. She has been a force in this entire FINA Intercontinental Tournament, and you can see there trying to get her involved again. KK Clark doing the job defending.
KK's got a long body similar to an Ash Southern of Australia. So her ability to get around with those arms is a huge benefit to the U.S. defense.
Williams, a few fakes, fires. Pang Lin on the save. A little over a minute gone by. And a tangle in the backcourt as Craig getting knotted up there with Lu Ping. Action advances forward.
Lu Ping's doing a great job on Craig, though. And her ability to come out of the defense into that offense and give her team an advantage for a few seconds it'll be really beneficial to China.
Skip shot attempt there. Keeve saves it to the near side, but can't hang on. It goes out of play. And China will get things restarted with a new shot clock. The ball in at 2 meters.
China came out really strong in this first quarter. And the second quarter, I feel like they're playing a tiny bit more hesitant than previously. So let's see if they come out here and put some of these shots away.
Ball's near side. Zhao Zihan controlling. Kraus defending. Sun Yat-ting battling back in at 2 meters. KK Clark, a big wrestling match. And Clark excluded. She'll go out. That's her first. Then here's China on the 6-on-5.
The physicality in the center here is bound to get a little too aggressive, and the center's done a great job of really working Clark.
Nice job there by Craig to knock away the entry pass. China still on the attack. Quick attempt off the bar. Rebound controlled by Elise Williams. She clears it out of trouble, and Clark returns. Sides are even. 5:50 to go here in the second. 4-3. Team USA in front.
There's some good 5-on-6 defense by the U.S. They're able to get those big hands up to deter some of those shots from China that they were taking earlier in the first quarter.
Here's Williams. Gives off to Clark, who will walk it in to 5 meters. Clark takes a look, fires and scores.
It's not often you see the near side lob in a water polo game, but I think what really set that up was the ability for Cammie Craig of the U.S. team to get in there deep at the center position and opened up, you know, the person had to come back and help. So KK Clark was open for that wide open shot.
5-3 lead for the United States, their largest lead of the evening. And KK Clark, you're right. You can probably count the number of times you see the near side lob on one hand, but Clark makes it work.
When it hits, it's beautiful. If it doesn't go in, you might get subbed.
Yeah, so what are you thinking? No, 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 yes. And we're in the back of the net. And here's China now looking to battle back.
Looks like it's getting pretty physical in there, even on the perimeter here.
Clark goes out, and now Colleen O'Donnell has returned to battle Sun Yat-ting.
A lot of the times when this defender, the U.S. defender, is behind the Chinese center, she's really going to have to use her legs. The Chinese center is very strong.
Big field block by Maddie Musselman, gets a hand on that, and the ball comes back to Keeve.
It's great to see some of those field blocks. We saw them earlier in the Canada-Australia game, and those will really be beneficial to the defense of any team.
Here's Elise Williams, the UCLA Bruin. Cross pass to Musselman. She'll have a look. No one in front of her. Walks it in. Fires off the post. And it's in. Score it.
It's in.
Maddie Musselman connects. Pang Lin got a hand on it. Couldn't dig it out of the goal. And the United States goes ahead now 6-3.
I think Elise Williams should get a round of applause for that pass. It was a long cross pass, and to hit her right there on the hand where she needed it, that was beautiful.
Musselman, I don't think, could also believe she was that open. Walked it in. No one came near.
And to have the maturity as a high school-year-old to walk it in, use those fakes, tie the goalie, and just bar it in.
Musselman will turn 16 next month. Headed into her junior year with Corona Del Mar High School. And making a big impact here on the senior level for Team USA in this tournament.
China's doing a great job of working the ball around to their center.
Good look inside to Sun Yat-ting. All kinds of defense coming over. O'Donnell, Craig, Williams helping out. The ball's back to Keeve.
I think the USA just avoided a possibly disastrous possession there. You don't ever want the ball to cross that far over. It's too hard for the defender to get around.
Here's Kraus. O'Donnell. Swinging around to Williams. They go around the perimeter. Mackenzie Fisher. Shot clock to 6. Williams inside to Craig. And an exclusion is called. I thought that pass might have been too close to handle, but instead it will send out Sun Yat-ting. That's her second exclusion for the captain of Team China. Might not see her for a couple of minutes here.
The U.S.'s passes are looking nice and sharp.
Here's Fisher. Deals to O'Donnell. Quick shot, save, Lang Pin.
That was a good idea by O'Donnell, but I think it needs to be placed a little bit more to the corner.
3:40 remaining in the second. A 6-3 lead for the United States. And an exclusion on Jillian Kraus.
A little too over-aggressive on that foul there. I think they were kind of getting at it a little earlier today, and she kind of had to pay on that one.
Kraus heads out. Timeout is called by China. 3:37 to go here in the first half. Team USA ahead 6-3. We'll step aside and return after this timeout. 3:37 to play here in the second quarter. 6-3, Team USA in front of China. And Tamua, great response here from the United States. China came out on fire in the first, hitting from the perimeter. The United States defense has settled down and their offense has picked it up.
Absolutely. I think the presence of the center for Team USA has been really instrumental in getting those ejections and being able to tie those defenders back to have to help the center. I think that moving forward, they need to just continue to do that. Tie those defenders from the center and be able to put those shots away from the top.
Here's an opportunity for China on the 6-on-5. Song Dong Loon controlling around the perimeter. Quick shot attempt, field blocked. Musselman gets a hand on that one. Comes back to EB Keeve. And the ball will go to the U.S. Conflicting remarks here from the officials. One official is saying it's U.S. ball, head the other way. The other saying it is for China.
I think EB Keeve has done a good job of coming back from those first two early goals to kind of settle herself down and get into the mix of getting some fingers on those balls.
And the one official overrules the other and says it will in fact be the United States ball after that stop on the 6-on-5. And now here's KK Clark handling. Priscilla Orozco has returned. Walking it in, deals it out to Musselman. Here's Clark. Outside try, save there by Pang Lin.
I think the U.S. needs to be a little bit more patient on offense. They had 15 seconds left on their shot clock, and to be able to use those 15 seconds to set up the goalie, to draw the defenders, will really open up the goal a little bit more for them.
Turn inside, quick shot, Keeve with a save, and starting to settle down, as you mentioned, Tamua.
That was a great move by the Chinese center for her to be able to get around, to get up and take that shot. You don't want her to have that much time or to have that open of a look at the cage.
Timeout called by the United States. 2:35 remaining here in the first half. They remain ahead 6-3 over China. We'll return after this break. Timeout over, and we're back here. 2:35 to play in the first half. 6-3, the United States ahead and coming out of the timeout.
I think they have a lot of momentum coming into this last portion of this half. They've scored, some unanswered goals, and for them to continue this with this new rotation of girls, that would be great.
Here's Mackenzie Fisher out of Laguna Beach High School, heading into her senior year this fall. Here's Priscilla Orozco. She'll fire from the outside over the goal, not a play. And Team USA gets nothing on that possession. It'll come back to China with 2:20 to play.
You can see in the Chinese team that these girls have played together for a while. Whether it's on offense or defense, they kind of are on the same page in every aspect.
Here's China controlling. Orozco defending, ordinary there. China's starting center Sun Ya-Ting remains on the bench after picking up 2 exclusions. Shot clock to 10.
USA doing a great job on defense right now.
Shot clock to 4. Here's Zhao Zihan firing from deep, and Keeve knocks that down, almost trickled past.
Ooh, that was a little scary there. Could have trickled right under her hand, but she got it.
Could tell your goalie sensibilities having flashbacks maybe.
You get a little nervous. You definitely get a little nervous, so I think she's feeling the jitters.
Here's O'Donnell moving in to the 5-meter line. Gives a few fakes, gives back to Young. Shot clock to 7. O'Donnell takes a look. Shot clock to 3. She'll go lob from deep. Easy save. Pang Lin pulls it down with 1:20 to go here in the first half. United States remain ahead 6-3. Long outlet pass. Nicely done for Sun Yu-Jun. She's on the move. O'Donnell giving chase. Puts her head down. And an ordinary call there.
She's definitely the most aggressive counterattack player on this team. And I'm surprised we haven't seen that at all really until this point in the game.
Shang Kong handling, swings it over to Lu Ping. China will get their offense set with just 9 on the shot clock. Looking inside, entry in, double team comes, the pass back out, 2 on the shot clock. They'll have to fire. Keeve, another save. She's starting to string together a couple of saves and get on a bit of a hot streak, as we saw in the win over Canada.
I think she's warming up, and that's great for the U.S. team. But defensively on the U.S., they needed to steal that ball from center. It was kind of floating there for a little bit too long before she kicked it out.
35 seconds to play. 6-3 lead for the United States. Here's Elise Williams. Tries to go inside to Rosenthal. Too much on that pass as China came with the double team. It's taken away by Peng Lin, and now China, with less than 20 seconds to play here in the half, can hold for the final shot. Shot clock is off.
China looks to come down here and be aggressive in this last 20 seconds.
Big tangle, Orozco. Outside shot and a score right as time expires in the half. Hitting from deep, and Keeve had a piece of that one, just couldn't corral it. And China gets one back on the goal from Soon Yu Jun, her second, and we pull into halftime 6-4 in favor of Team USA.
That deflection was kind of where EB lost her sight of the ball. A lot of the times when you have hands up in front of you, you want those hands to help you, but sometimes they'll hit at the wrong angle.
Partially tipped, it goes in. China gets one back after going scoreless. And a 6-4 lead for the United States. We're here at the half. We'll take a timeout and return here at the Riverside Aquatics Complex. We return here at the half. It's a 6-4 lead for the United States over Team China, along with Tamu and I. Greg Meskel here with you. And Tamu, we were talking about it before we came back on the air here. You don't get the feeling that Team USA is playing a fantastic game of water polo, but here they are ahead 6-4.
And I think that a lot of that has to do with their defense. EB has kind of settled down a little bit, and the U.S. team has been able to get some stops. And, I mean, they haven't scored so many goals yet, but the defense really has kept them in this game and allowed them to make this comeback.
As we look at some of the numbers here at the half for Team USA after a slow start, EB Keeve settling down. She has 6 saves here at halftime. 2 goals for Kaleigh Gilchrist, a goal apiece for Maddie Musselman, Priscilla Orozco, and KK Clark. For China, their keeper, Peng Lin, 4 goals. And on the offensive end, Soon Yu Jun with 2, Song Dong Lun with 1, and Wang Jinyan with the other. 6-4 here at halftime. USA over China. We'll step aside once more, come back with the start of the third right here from Riverside. All set for the start of the third quarter. Team USA and China. United States leading China right now 6-4. Winner moves on to the championship game of this FINA Intercontinental Tournament. Australia awaits. The loser will fall back to the third place game to take on Canada. Regardless, every team here in this Final Four has already qualified for the World League Super Final. So in one sense, mission accomplished. And now Team USA playing for some pride here and hoping to see if they can't come away with a gold medal in this event.
Absolutely. I'm sure they want to win here at another home pool. But I'm sure China here in this second half is going to come out strong. I feel like kind of nearing the end of that first half, they were playing a little bit more hesitant than they were at the beginning, and I'm sure they're looking to come out strong right now.
And the speed of Maddie Musselman shines again as she controls the opening sprint, and the United States will start things off. Here's Elise Williams. Cammie Craig back in at 2 meters. Jillian Krause gives it a look. Gives off to Musselman. She goes lob, and that's just off the mark, and the rebound controlled by China. Sides have switched ends. China in the white caps, Team USA in the dark as we get things underway here in the third.
That was a really selfless pass by Jillian Krause on the U.S. team to give it down to Maddie Musselman. Felt like she had a shot there, and she was able to draw that defender and then give it over to Maddie.
It's an ordinary called. It'll stay with China. Shot clock to 7. Soon Yu Jun deals back to Wang Jinyan. About to run out of time, and they won't get a shot off here. Shot clock violation, so poor clock awareness there from China, and Team USA takes over.
China does a good job of being patient, but I think on that they were a little too patient. As soon as they see that shot, they should just be able to take it.
Keeve will get things down to Krause.
Bad transition really there by China. They want to be able to try and front the center, Cammie Craig, for a little bit longer.
Outside try there by Krause, blocked by Peng Lin. Now with 5 saves on the night.
I think both of these teams are looking a little tired coming into the second half. The counterattack isn't quite moving as quickly as it was earlier.
We talked about this being a long week of water polo.
It definitely is, and when you play all of these teams and then you get down to these last couple games, You want to play your best water polo, so I'm sure they'll start to turn it on here.
Solid defense there at 2 meters. Williams Clark helping to knock that ball away as Chu Hee Lee was trying to post up.
China's just having a hard time defending the USA centers tonight.
Big turn from Cammie Craig, and she buries it. Entry pass in, and it's a 7-4 lead for the United States. Craig with her second of the night.
That was textbook for Cammie to sit there, create that water, snap to the ball, and then to be able to put it away in that perfect corner. That is hard to defend.
There's a good look at Craig, two-time Olympic medalist, your teammate, of course, in the 2012 games, and also in college, 2010 NCAA champions.
I wouldn't want to be turned by Cammie, that's for sure. Nobody does.
2 minutes gone by here in the third, a 7-4 lead. United States in control of this one. Aggressive defense here by Musselman here at mid-tank.
I think it's getting pretty heated on both ends. We see, you know, a few cheap shots there by China, a few aggressive plays there by the U.S., and I think both teams really want to win this one tonight.
Here's Musselman now in transition, puts it away. The young gun of Team USA making it look easy.
The young gun is making it look easy.
That's her second.
Get down there to receive the ball and to just make that easy turn into a goal.
Nicely done by Musselman. And an 8-4 lead now for Team USA. There'll also be an exclusion here on China. That'll be Sun Yu Jun heading out.
I think this is the time for China to really pick it up. You don't want to get too big of a lead that feels a little insurmountable to overcome, so I think they want to kind of stop the bleeding right now.
5:45 to go in the third. Great start here. And that'll be all for Sun Yu Jun, so just getting clarification here. She has been rolled from this game for brutality on a kick. Coach Azevedo shaking his head. He can't believe it, and you see the look he's giving her right here. Not too happy about it, so she will head off, and this is the second time in this tournament that Team China has had someone rolled from the game for a brutality. Song Dong-Loon went out earlier in the week on a punch. Here, Sun Yu Jun goes out on a kick, and the official right on top of it.
You get into a lot of little battles in this game. It's such a physical game that, you know, the person that you're matched up with, you guys are going to see a lot of each other, so you want to be able to contain yourself and kind of control those emotions.
And here's an exclusion on the United States, and that'll send Elise Williams out. And an opportunity here for China. Outside shot and bar down and controlled by EB Keeve.
That was a big opportunity for China and for them to be able to put that away, but I think she was a little impatient on that shot. I think she might have had that same shot and a couple more passes. The U.S. is doing a really good job of setting up off of their transition. The centers for the U.S. are able to hold position and really set themselves up for a full shot clock.
3 seconds to go on the shot clock. Here's Young. She'll take a look, and that one glances off the crossbar out of play. And it's back to China with 4:51 to go here in the third. 8-4, Team USA in front.
I think that red card really kind of fired China up. I think they're looking a little bit more aggressive as they come down the pool here.
I'm sure frustrated to lose one of their key players in Sun Yu Jun. She had 2 goals already tonight and is now done. And now we'll see an exclusion, and that will go on the United States. Priscilla Orozco goes out. That's her second. And a power play chance here for China.
This is big for China. They need to get that goal in the back of the cage.
On the perimeter, Song Dong-Loon, and they connect. Song Dong-Loon puts it away, her second of the night, and it's a 8-5 game, so a much-needed score there for Team China to try and stop this USA run.
I think that shot was just, you know, an illustration of what she can do. She hasn't been able to get too many shots off tonight, but when she has, they've been goals. So I think they'll definitely look to her in these last couple quarters. Defensively, China really needs to stop right now. They can't afford to get another goal and then to kind of have another larger deficit.
Yeah, they're not in a position here to match scores with Team US. They need to start getting some stops, and we've seen the physical play that hasn't necessarily resulted in stops for China.
A lot of the times the physical play can be beneficial or detrimental to you. You just don't want to get caught up in the physical play.
Mackenzie Fisher gives a look. Rosenthal in at 2 meters. The pass goes in. Not enough on that pass. And it's taken away. Zhang Kong coming over for the steal and gives it back to the keeper.
China's doing a better job of trying to contain the centers of the U.S. and being able to crash a little faster. So we'll see if this plays into their offense.
Near side, Wang Jinyan controlling. Dangerous pass out on the perimeter, almost taken away by Fisher. Here's Li Shujin, gives it off to Zhang Kong. Shot clock to 7. Outside attempt, score it for Team China. Zhang Kong puts that one away, able to beat Keeve. So back-to-back goals here for China as they climb back into this one. An 8-6 game with 3:34 to play in the third.
That was definitely her shot, and she took it at the right time and placed it in a good place. So they just need to start taking their shots when they see them.
Here's Colleen O'Donnell. And now Mackenzie Fisher has an eye on shooting, passes off to O'Donnell. Rosenthal back in at 2 meters.
The U.S. is going to see this drop a lot tonight. They started out with this drop, and so they just, there you go.
Beautifully done. Mackenzie Fisher puts it away. So one high school student connects. Musselman, here's another in Fisher. And Team USA builds their lead back to 3, 9-6.
Here's one for the young guns.
Another one
or
there.
multiple.
Multiple guns that are young here for Team USA. Fisher, great water polo family. Younger sister plays for Laguna Beach High School with her, a rising star there. And father, Eric, played for the 92 Olympic team.
Defensively in the center, the USA needs to be able to come behind a tiny bit quicker.
Here's an exclusion on Colleen O'Donnell and a power play opportunity now for China.
China's been struggling on their 6-on-5, so hopefully they'll be able to take smarter and well-timed shots.
A few fakes, and they connect on that one on the skip. Wang Jinyan going near side for her second goal of the night, and again a 2-goal contest. 9-7, 2:42 to go here in the third.
That was a great shot for her to come pocket, to be able to pump fake the ball that many times, and to go right underneath the defender's arm.
Colleen O'Donnell returns after the exclusion. 2-goal lead. Team USA was up 4 earlier in this quarter, and China has battled back.
We see China running a deeper drop. This will open up the U.S. on the perimeter, but they need to be able to put them away.
On the far side, Marissa Young goes near side on her shot and buries it. The Cal State Northridge Matador puts that one home, 10-7, United States in front.
Dropping off one is always a tiny bit risky, and USA was able to take advantage of that right now.
Great opportunity for Young, the Fountain Valley, California native. And also for her program, Cal State Northridge, not too often they have a member on the senior national team.
It's great to see some girls from a lot of different schools.
Rosenthal now pressing out near mid-tank.
O'Donnell's fronting here at the top really high. She just needs to be careful of that inside water.
Ordinary again. Plenty of time on the China shot clock. Sun Ya-Ting has returned to 2 meters. O'Donnell guarding.
Ooh.
A few fakes and field blocked on that shot attempt. It goes out of play. It'll come back into the United States, and EB Keeve with 2 minutes to go here in the third.
I think that was kind of a dangerous position that the U.S. put themselves in. She just scored a goal. She's coming in from 3 at the top and has a great angle. I think they might want to close in on her a tiny bit more.
Here's Maddie Musselman. And now Colleen O'Donnell. Minute 40 to go here in the third. Fisher getting free and putting it away. Another goal in this quarter for Mackenzie Fisher. She has 2. And the United States goes back in front by 4, 11-7, 1:35 to play in the third.
The U.S. is doing a really good job of really breaking down that drop. Anytime you drop from one and you can tie the defenders up, one pretty much has a wide open shot, and that's hard for the goalie to get over for. So the more that they can take advantage of that, the more goals they're going to score tonight. I think China might want to patch that one up pretty soon.
Yeah, we've seen a couple of times now that near side shot. There's an opening there, and Team USA taking advantage. on the perimeter. A couple of fouls here from Team USA.
We see some aggressive play there in the middle. A lot of ducking under, a lot of holding.
Outside shot and a laser from the perimeter. Score it for Lee Shu-jin, her first. And China, you touched on it earlier, Tamu, they're an outstanding shooting team. If you're going to give them openings, there's a chance they're going to put it away. They draw it within 3.
Exactly. They're great at the catch and shoot. They can shoot really well off of a pass, and I'm surprised they haven't done it more tonight. I think if they can really pick up their shooting, the amount of times that they shoot in the end of this game, they'll be able to come back from this deficit.
Here's Colleen O'Donnell handling. USC Trojan. Play with LA Water Polo Club, one of the big clubs in the USA Water Polo system. Goes to Kraus, trying that near side again. This one blocked off the post as well. Pang Lin coming over.
The U.S. hasn't really been driving too much to break this drop that China's been showing them, and it's great and a great opportunity to create some movement, maybe catch them off guard a bit.
And here's a steal by Kraus at mid-tank. Team USA off to the races. Musselman ahead of the pack. Here's Kraus. Hung up there, puts the brakes on. And the United States will regroup after the foul.
That's great patience by Kraus for her to be able to take that ball down, not make a home run pass that might be a little risky.
A delay on restarting things, and that turns the ball over. And now we'll get a timeout called by China with 26 seconds remaining here in the third. 11-8, Team USA in front. We'll take a quick timeout and return to the pool here in Riverside. Stay with us. And we're back. Just 26 seconds remaining here in the third. 11-8, USA in front. Tamua, an interesting defensive strategy here from China, allowing an opening for the United States that they've been walking right through with several goals.
They've been pretty much dropping 3 people back to help the center. I think earlier they're a little scared of the center play. They got burned a few times, and so they're really trying to come back and help, but now they're getting burned from the outside. I think that China needs to do a better job of protecting, especially down at that X1 position. It seems that the USA is able to walk it in from one, and that's a really good angled shot.
So China able to neutralize Craig and now Rosenthal 2 meters, but it's opening things up for the likes of Mackenzie Fisher, Maddie Musselman, and others who have been able to hit on the near side. Shot clock is off. 26 seconds remain here in the third, and a last chance likely here for China as they get things started. On the perimeter, Musselman guarding. We'll get it out to Wang Xinyan. 15 seconds left here in the quarter.
USA is doing a good job of putting pressure on the ball, but not fouling.
Entry inside. The quick turn, the save by Keeve. 5 seconds left, and Team USA will call for time with 3 seconds remaining. And this is one of those use it or lose it timeouts, so Coach Krikorian will talk things over, see if he has the old 3-second play in the playbook here to break out.
I'm sure he has something up his sleeve. 3 seconds, that's enough for a pass to a shot.
EB Keeve now with 9 saves here, so making her mark on Team USA here in this FINA Intercontinental Tournament. Probably doesn't hurt, and you touched on the college season just ending here for a lot of these young women, and Keeve coming right out of NCAAs really a week and a half ago with Arizona State and leading them to their first NCAA championship, and you're seeing it with a lot of the ladies here that played for USC and some of the other programs. It has to keep them in game shape and really kind of mentally on that edge for competition.
Absolutely, and especially in the NCAA, you see a lot of international players. So although these girls have primarily played in college, they've seen a lot of international play with the influx of a lot of kind of imports into the college game. So although they don't have very much experience with Team USA, they have a few good experiences with some of these international players in college.
So 3 seconds left. Gilchrist will put it in. Tries to fire from mid-tank. Not sure if she was looking for Craig or not, but time is going to expire on this third quarter. And headed to the fourth, Team USA in the lead, 11-8 over China, trying to earn a spot in the championship match of this FINA Intercontinental Tournament. Final period on the way. We are back after this. We're back here. Fourth quarter about to begin. 11-8, the lead for Team USA, and you get a great shot here of all the athletes that are taking part in the ODP program. National Training and Selection Camp going on right now, and out here to support the the future senior national team that they hope to be a part of. Those young women working towards being a part of the junior youth cadet national team. And I'm sure exciting for them to see Team USA in action and playing well.
This will be a really, really good last quarter. I mean, they're only down, China is down by 3, but that is more than enough time to come back and score 3 goals and bring it tied with the U.S.
Opportunity in close and an exclusion called. This will go against China. Cammie Craig drawing the exclusion in close. And a 6-on-5 opportunity. Exclusion will go on Lu Ping. Here's KK Clark. Gilchrist will give a look. Chance here for Team USA to take a commanding lead. Musselman back to Gilchrist.
The U.S. is really handling the ball well right now.
Pass is not dropping. Shot clock to 5. Sides are even. Quick look to Craig. Nicely done. Gilchrist to Craig for the one-timer. She buries it. Cammie Craig with 3 goals now and a 12-8 lead here for the United States.
That was a crowd pleaser, and rightfully so. Cammie had some really nice hands on that ball, but for that eye contact between her and Kaleigh and to be able to put that away, that was awesome.
Yeah, that takes timing right there. And Gilchrist putting it right on the money. 4-goal lead now for the United States, although, as we've talked in the past, Tamua, this is not an insurmountable deficit here for China. These high-level international teams can battle back from this in the span of 7 minutes. Absolutely,
and with the strength of these Chinese shooters, they haven't been quite as strong as they normally are, but I'm sure they can turn it on if they need to.
China now on the attack. Shot clock to 4.
USA's been doing a good job of shutting down their centers, and that's really affected the opportunities that some of these shooters have seen.
And as the shot clock winding down, they throw one in from outside. Score for Zhang Kong, and that's her second. And they get one back. There you go. As advertised, the outside shooting, and just when you think it's a done possession, they put one away.
Absolutely.
You have that goalkeeper perspective. Those last second shot clock shots, it's got to be frustrating if the defense is starting to head the other way and they just kind of toss one up as the buzzer's about to sound.
They are frustrating, and it seems like the further that they are, it'd be easier to block, but sometimes the further away that the shooter is, it's harder to time as to when you should lunge. So it's a different kind of challenge with those faraway shots.
Craig trying to create some room again into 2 meters.
Ooh.
And Kraus loses the handle. Good defense there from China, taken away. Zhao Zihan coming up with that steal, dealing back now to Peng Lin.
China really needs to capitalize on that USA mistake, especially in this last quarter, down by 3. They need to score some goals and then play some good defense.
Here's China on the attack, and a contra foul called. KK Clark getting tangled up with Sun Ya-Ting.
That is not what China wants, and then for her to be down by so much. Hopefully the U.S. wants to capitalize on this.
Clark on the attack. Here's Williams looking into Craig. Williams will shoot it and score it. Elise Williams connecting for the United States, 13-9. They go in front now, and you could see Williams was thinking entry pass. Craig told her, shoot it, Elise, and she put it away.
I think I heard a few people yell, shoot it, from Adam Krikorian, the USA coach, as well as from her teammate, Cammie Craig. So sometimes when you're, a little bit younger, a little bit newer on the team, you need that extra vote of confidence from the people around you to take those shots.
USA keeps the pressure on, ahead 4, 5:57 to go here in the fourth.
I think China might be feeling a little bit deflated right now, but with some of their, glimpses of greatness here with a lot of those outside shots, they can easily come back from this.
Inside turn, and a penalty is called. Sun Ya-Ting wheeling inside. Clark will be called for this. That'll be her second, and a chance here for China to get one back without any time going off the clock. They'll bring in Zhao Zihan. China looking to draw within 3, 5:48 to go here in the fourth. And she puts it away. It's a 13-10 game, and as we get deeper in this game, Tamua, offense hasn't really been a problem for China. It's stopping Team USA.
Absolutely. I think the core of that comes from the center play by the U.S. Just their ability to take people down deep and cause people to need to help there at the center position. So the China, in order for them to come back here, they want to be able to better contain the center so that they don't allow those shots from the outside and they don't have to run that drop. But so much of this is mental, whether it's from the U.S., not falling asleep when they have this lead, or China not feeling, a little too deflated that they can't come back.
Here's Colleen O'Donnell. Thought she might have Kraus there going backdoor. China a little more aggressive here on defense, trying to generate some turnovers, and they get one. Contra foul called on the U.S., a grab on the suit. It'll go back to China with 5:28 to play in the fourth. 13-10, USA in front.
And I think we'll see the Chinese goalie come out a little bit more.
Look at this on the other end. Great opportunity in front, but Keeve is out to knock it away, and O'Donnell there to slow down Song Dong-loon.
I think they dodged a bullet on that one. I'd say, gosh, if EB didn't come out, that might have been a little dangerous for the U.S.
Here's O'Donnell advancing the ball. Orozco takes a look.
We see this deep drop from China because they need to come back and help the center.
O'Donnell from the outside, tipped out. Pang Lin getting a hand on that, and a new shot clock now for the United States. Here's Fisher. China trying to work out a comeback here. Team USA going to see if they can hang on for victory and move on to play Australia in the championship match here of the FINA Intercontinental Tournament. Canada awaits in the third place game.
I think the U.S. looks to be a little bit more patient on their offense. I think we heard a few words from Adam Krikorian to kind of have them settle down a little bit and use a little bit more of the clock.
Entry pass went inside. It was knocked away. Defense there for China. 4:21 to play in the fourth. A 13-10 lead right now for the United States. Here's Song Dong-loon. Gives off to Zhang Kong. They'll keep it on the perimeter.
This is an important possession for China.
Outside shot off the post. Rebound to Orozco. And surprising they haven't gone to Zhao Zihan more often. The left-hander has been their high scorer here in the tournament.
I think it's a matter of her opening herself up. They've been kind of running a 2-3 drop. The U.S. has been running a 2-3 drop in order to maybe avoid some of the shots from the lefty.
This is Orozco getting tangled up there, and that's an offensive. Zhao Zihan aggressive on D, and referee catches Orozco with the push-off, and China generating some turnovers now. Will it turn into offense?
The Chinese really need to capitalize on these, these offensive turnovers that they're getting.
3:28 to play, 3-goal deficit for Team China. Here's Song Dong-loon. EB Keeve with a save going to the left. She's in double figures now in the save game.
She's going to be big for these last 3 minutes. China's going to want to take some shots, and she's going to need to block those in order to stay in the game.
Orozco on the move. To Rosenthal, works inside. Tried to dish that out to Kraus, but couldn't get the ball all the way passed out before Zhang Kong came over for the steal.
That was a nice lead-in pass by Orozco into Rosenthal. Rosenthal was able to make that turn, but the Chinese really need to make sure that they're shutting down Rosenthal in the middle.
China on the attack, 2:45 to play, so time getting short here on China, trailing by 3 goals. Going to need to be very efficient here, and that is not the way to start with it. The entry into Sun Ya-Ting gets away, and a timeout called by Team USA. Adam Krikorian will call for time with 2:34 to play here in the fourth. We'll take a quick timeout and return with the conclusion here from Riverside. Stay with us. .234 to play in the fourth. There's a look at the USA huddle. They're ahead 13-10, trying to come out with the victory here. Tamu, if you're on the Chinese side of things, what's your game plan here? How are you making up 3 goals with just 2:34 to play?
Well, they need to play a heavier press. They need to be able to front the center so that they can press the ball and, cut back on some of those shot attempts that they're seeing from the U.S. They've been running a very, very aggressive drop, and that's allowed, some of these goals to get in because they've been hitting some really nice shots from the outside. So the Chinese just need to run a press so that they can counter out of it. They're a fast team, and they need to be able to run that press to counter out of it.
And a little time there as Elise Williams was searching for her cap. Seems as if the referee has lost patience with that, so he sends her off, and USA will come in with substitute.
I think that's a common, a common mistake of most water polo players. You lose your cap, but you think you can still play, but you can't play without your cap.
KK Clark will start things up again.
As we can see, China is really trying to run that aggressive front and press. It's just a matter of maintaining that for the next 18 seconds.
Here's O'Donnell looking inside to Craig. She'll keep it. O'Donnell takes a look. Nothing there. Shot clock to 8. And then knocked away. Thought she might get an ordinary. Didn't get the call. Sun Yat-ting comes up with the steal. And now China will call for time.
I think that was O'Donnell's shot to take. You know, she had a few pumps and she was in there at 5 or 4 meters. So I think she should have just let that one fly.
2:09 remaining here in the fourth. 13-10. The advantage right now for the United States. And China calls for time. Regroup here in the final stages. You can do the math here pretty much with 2:09. They're running out of possessions.
They're running out of possessions, and their defense needs to be tighter. You need to get the stop in order to come back. So obviously they need to get the ball in the back of the cage, but then they also need to stop the ball from going in. And on that last possession, if O'Donnell took that shot, it would be a great percentage.
With 2:09 remaining, China are looking at probably 2 full possessions, then they're going to need to generate some type of turnover here.
Either a turnover or an ejection.
Ejection, maybe a quick shot from the United States, which you'd think they wouldn't do, trying to take some time off of the clock.
And I think that's most likely what Adam Krikorian, the USA coach, was advising his players to do, was to use all of the clock that they're going to have on offense.
2:09 remaining in the fourth. 3-goal lead for the United States, trying to hold off a China rally.
The USA is forced to kind of come back into a drop here, so this will be a good opportunity for China to get some shots off.
Song Donloon takes a look, deals it out to Wang Jinyan. Outside attempt, and EB Keeve got enough of it to knock it down off the bar. And
that was nice reactions by Keeve. I mean, it was deflected by the field player shot block, and she was able to keep her eyes on the ball and make sure that it didn't happen to fall down into the cage again.
United States in a good spot here. 14 seconds to go on the shot clock. A minute 35 in the game. They're ahead 3.
They just need to take care of the ball. They're in a good position. Don't get any offensive turnovers. Just take care of the ball and put it into the center there at the last few seconds.
Not taking care of the ball there. Contra foul, an offensive foul is called against the United States. It'll go back to China with a minute 26 remaining in the contest.
I see China getting a little fiery here in the last few minutes, but they needed that about 2 minutes ago.
Here's Sun Yat-ting advancing. Musselman. Keeve coming over. And EB Keeve with a nice job to take that one away from Sun Yat-ting, who was trying to work inside too.
As a goalie, that can be a little scary. You're not used to the physical contact of the field player, so a lot of the times the goalies tend to not come out, but that was a smart play by Keeve.
1 minute to go in the match, and Team USA in the lead here, 13-10. Appear to be on their way to a spot in the gold medal final here in this FINA Intercontinental Tournament. Here's Gilchrist with a few looks. A lob, she puts it away. Such a soft touch on the lob for Kaleigh Gilchrist. She scored too early for Team USA and comes back to likely seal the deal here with a 14-10 advantage now, 47 seconds left in the fourth.
She opens up the game and it looks like she's ready to close it.
4-goal lead for the United States. And Coach Krikorian goes to the bench here.
I think this may be China's last offensive possession here. I'm sure they want to get out with at least one more goal.
So this will set up a Team USA Australia meeting in the final, and China and Canada meeting for third place. Another fantastic doubleheader.
The USA is doing a really good job tonight of pressing without fouling. That way you can take time off the clock and it doesn't allow them a free pass if you don't need to foul them.
Here's Young guarding. And there'll be an exclusion. It'll go on Mercy Young. And now a 6-on-5 opportunity here. And it'll take a moment to allow Zhao Zihan to fix her cap. Shot clock is off, 25 seconds remaining in the game. It's a 14-10 lead for the United States.
I'd like to see China get one more goal in here.
from the perimeter on the 6-on-5. Zhao Jihan, Song Dong-Loon takes a look. They keep it on that far side. Outside try, Keeve with a save. How about EB Keeve? After a slow start, she settles down, as does Team USA, and they're going to win this one 14-10. The United States will play for gold here at the FINA Intercontinental Tournament as they top China 14-10 and advance on to meet Australia in the final. Tamua, a slow start for the United States. China came out firing, but the United States settled down, battled back, and comes away with a 4-goal victory.
I guess it's not where you start, it's where you finish. And for the USA, that's exactly what they did. They came out a little shaky. I think that comes from their lack of experience and kind of their youngsters. But for them to come back and for them to win this game, this is a big game to win. It shows great promise for this next generation of USA women.
Some of the final stats here for Team China. 2 goals apiece for Song Dong-Loon and Zhang Kong, along with Wang Jinyan and Sun Yujun, who was then major from the game on a brutality. Li Shujin, Zhao Zihan also connecting. Peng Lin goes the distance in net with 9 saves for Team USA. Balanced scoring attack once more. Kaleigh Gilchrist and Cami Craig, the story. 3 goals apiece, 2 each for Maddie Musselman and Mackenzie Fisher. A goal for KK Clark, Priscilla Orozco, and Elise Williams, along with Mercer Young. So again, they get almost every field player to score, and EB Keeve in net. 13 saves on the night. She does the job. Nice effort here. It's a new look Team USA. They get the job done with a win over China.
They do, and I'm sure Coach Adam Krikorian is very happy with today's performance. To be able to come out and maybe play not as well as he wanted to at the beginning, but to come back, I think that shows a lot of strength within this young group.
So the final 14-10. We're going to talk soon with a member of Team USA. But for now, we'll take a quick timeout and return. Your final again, 14-10, United States over China. We are back after this. All right, we're back here at poolside. Team USA, a 4-goal winner. We're joined with KK Clark. Thanks for spending some time with us here.
Of course.
Tell me about this game. You guys started off a little slow. What turned there for you to allow you to come back and then pull away for a win?
Yeah, we definitely started slow. We got down 0-2, but I think just not letting that get to us and continuing to play our game. Like, no one showed any nerves after that. It was kind of like, okay, head down, follow the game plan, and the game will continue to come to us. So
you're the 2-meter defender out there. You have maybe one of the hardest jobs. This was a physical game.
It was, yeah.
Maybe more than others we've seen this week. Tell me about your job out there and just what it's like to be constantly fighting just for a position, and you might not even get the ball or defend the ball. You're just battling constantly.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of wrestling and swimming, and wrestling and swimming, but I love it, and I wouldn't be able to do it if it wasn't for the perimeter defenders. It's definitely super physical in there, but I just have to keep trying my best to find the ball and communicate to my team to help me when I get in bad position, and do my best to help my team play the best defensive possession we can play.
This week, you've had some games that were a little bit more lopsided. This game, tomorrow's game, they're going to be high-intensity games. How much do you enjoy that opportunity to actually work up, you get your heart rate up and really get into it with someone?
I mean, we love to compete, so I think using those lopsided games as experience is really important, but this is the fun stuff. The semifinals are a huge game no matter what tournament you're playing, and I think we definitely treated it as that, and tomorrow we're playing in a final, and I think we couldn't be more happy to put ourselves in this position, but continue to learn every game that we play.
When you look at this roster, you having a lot of experience going back last year and a half, you're like one of the veterans, so to speak, right now with this group. I don't feel like a
veteran, yeah.
Maybe you don't, but when you look at folks that are 15 and 16 out there, what is it like for you to be out there to maybe someone that maybe they're looking to as for guidance or experience?
Yeah, it's really fun. Like, I feel like I'm kind of in the middle. There's veterans out there, Betsy and Cami, that I look up to, who treated probably me like that last summer. And so having the 16 and 15-year-olds, I think I'm rooming with Maddie Musselman, so she's 15, and it's a joy. It really is. And they're great competitors, so they push us, to be honest. And I think we learn a lot from them and try to give what wisdom I've compiled over the last year and a half to them.
And that's something we talked about with some of the other players this week. You're maybe giving out some wisdom, but I think also probably it's a little notice that, hey, no one's spot here is safe, and you still have to go and fight for what's yours, right?
Exactly. I mean, Adam does an amazing job about keeping it extremely competitive. no one feels safe. And I think that as long as we work together as a group and grow as a group and really love each other, like, everyone's going to win at the end of it. So. And
last thing, Australia tomorrow, you know how talented they are. They have some very physical players. Again, it's probably going to be a similar game as far as physicality goes. What are your thoughts looking towards that game?
I think we're pumped to be in the final. This is exactly where we want to be, and we played the exhibition against them earlier this week, but I think learning from that game and putting what we learned, what Adam's going to go through with us in the video room and everything like that, and just leaving it all in the pool, and just working hard and playing up to, it's a final. It's going to be so much fun, and I think everyone's really excited to play Australia, a great rival.
KK Clark, a lot of swimming, some wrestling, and a goal. Yeah. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much, guys.
All right, we'll take another timeout and come back and wrap things up here from Riverside. Stay tuned. Welcome back here at poolside as we wrap things up on the semifinal day of action. Tamu and I, Greg Meskel, here with you. And Tamu, let's just go through the games. The day that was here of water polo, exciting stuff. We had two kind of distinct differences here. You had the 5th through 8th place bracket, and those teams that obviously know they're not going for a medal, but they still want to get to 5th. And then, of course, our semis. And the first game of the day, it was Brazil and Kazakhstan, and a real close battle. 12-11, Brazil pulls it out, but Kazakhstan, they were right there. They were right there, and I think that was one of the more exciting games of today. Although they weren't playing to get into that championship game, they were playing hard. And you saw some definite improvements on both sides of the pool from Kazakhstan and Brazil, and I think they'll take those positives, not only tomorrow, but throughout the rest of the season this year. And then from there, we got to Japan and Venezuela, perhaps our most lopsided, and Venezuela, admittedly a team that's developing and just trying to get better. They fall in this one 18-5, and you really saw Japan, normally a very measured offensive team, have a big explosion of goals today. Absolutely, and you can see their conditioning level. I don't think that the U.S. water polo has seen much of Japan, so to see them play and to see them play at such a high level is exciting for the sport and for Venezuela to continue to grow. I think they had moments of greatness there in that game, so to continue to build on those would be great. And then our game of the night, our first semifinal pitting Australia and Canada. This one goes to a shootout, Australia taking it 12-11. Doesn't get much more exciting than that type of finish. Absolutely, and for Australia and Canada to meet, in a semifinal, that's a big game, and they are both big and physical teams, and we saw that tonight with the amount of ejections, but also with the amount of shots that were taken in that game. It was awesome to watch. And then our final match, Team USA meeting China, and a strong start for China. USA battles back, a very physical game. Team USA comes away with it 14-10. It was good to see some young USA girls, and also on the Chinese side to see their veteran girls come out here and kind of lead their team in their attempt at coming back and coming out strong in that game. But to see the USA girls, the young ones, come out and score goals and make big stops, I think was the exciting part of that game. So that sets up tomorrow, our final day here, the championship round. And in that first place match, it'll feature Team USA taking on Australia. And then for third, you'll have Canada and China meeting. And don't forget about 5th place. That's a pivotal game. You're going to have Brazil and Japan, because the winner of that will qualify for the World League Super Final. So one more great day of action here in Riverside. Thanks for joining us here tonight. For Tamu and I, Greg Meskel, and Tyler Crew, signing off here from Riverside. We'll see you tomorrow.